Thanks for joining me. I have a word for you, a prophetic word. This is an exciting word for the year, for the Jewish New Year. I love to always give a prophetic word. I like to base it on the actual meaning, but God also gave me an additional word, and this is exciting, and you don't want to miss it. So let's go. Okay, so I want to start. First of all, I want to give you just the nugget word that the Lord gave me for the next year. Actually, this next season. I don't know how long this will last, but the Lord said to me the other day, "This is it." And I thought, and immediately, some of you may go to Michael Jackson's song, right, or Michael Jackson's last tour. But what this is it. As soon as I hear that, anytime anybody says that, when I hear "this is it," I always think of Kenny Loggins' song. And so I began to wonder, because a lot of times the Lord will speak to me through songs, or he'll, give me a song. And then when I start looking at the lyrics, it's like it's prophetic in nature. And so this song is prophetic in nature, but the Lord said, "This is it." And I want to share that with you in just a moment. But I wanted to get to the Jewish New Year. And we are currently in the year 5786 in the Jewish calendar. I'll put my watch down. We're in the year 5786, and I always like to break it down. And most of you, if you know anything about the meanings of the numbers, how numbers in Hebrew, link up to letters, and we can learn stuff that way. But anyway, we're in the year of the 80s. So this whole decade is about the mouth, because the word 80 the number 80 is the word pay, and that means the mouth. And the very first thing that happened in this decade was a virus that was transmitted through the air, through breathing, mouth, whatever. So I find it interesting. It's not always positive, but I believe the Lord has positive and negatives that we can learn from understanding the prophetic word for the year. So, so mouth, 80 is pay, which means mouth. And then the number 6 is vav, which means hook, nail, a peg, or a connection of some sort. But it actually is symbolic of the connection with the spiritual and physical. It links or secures something. And together, this year is about the mouth being the hook, right? The mouth being the hook, the connector that secures your destiny and pulls what is in the spirit realm to the natural realm. Man, if I could only tell you what God has been saying to me, even in the past month, I was supposed to, in the beginning of September, beginning of this month, I was supposed to start teaching on the power of the word, or the power of a word, or words, all the above. And I procrastinated and put it off. And some of the things that have happened recently really have to do with our mouths. It has good and bad, right? And I wish I'd went ahead and started posting that. But anyway, I encourage you to be on the lookout for that. It'll start in October instead of September. But it's going to be a really long series. I won't say a really long series, but it's going to be a very in-depth series. And so I encourage you to, if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that, so that you'll be aware of that and get that information. It's really good. It's really good teaching on that, that the Lord gave me. All right. So we're talking about it moving from the heavens, or from the spiritual realm, into the physical realm. This is actually what the word means, or that letter means. It brings it from, it connects the two. It connects the spiritual and physical realms. And so, what we say matters, because it connects this year. In 86, it connects the mouth. It connects the heaven and earth. It connects spiritual and physical planes. All right. So before I get back into the song part, I wanted to give you some points about the mouth. And it's from this actual meaning. First of all, your mouth will secure your destiny. We mentioned that earlier about destiny. Your mouth will secure your destiny. What you confess becomes what you possess. Now, I think most of us know that. We shall have what we say. you declare a thing and it shall come to pass. This is what the word says. And so we as believers should understand that, death and life are in the power of the tongue, what we say and profess. And so this is all the time, but specifically in this season that we're in this next year, when you start declaring, you can declare your destiny, because that's where the spiritual realm and the physical realm come together. Number 2, your mouth links the physical and spiritual realms. Words are spiritual tools that bring heaven to earth. So words are spiritual tools that bring heaven to earth. That's why I named my prayer book Heaven on Earth, because through prayer, right, through speaking, through declaration, we can bring what's in heaven and manifest it in the earth. That's what Jesus did. Jesus was here and he manifested on the earth what was in heaven. Healing, deliverance, freedom is in heaven, and so it is here. Number 3, your mouth has the power to unite separate things. Remember, we talked about the connection. So it has the ability to unite separate things. And with the things that have been going on in the world, there is no better time than right now to begin to unite. Use your mouth to unite, not to divide, but use your mouth to unite separate things that do not always go together. We can bring together in this season through our words. Broken pieces, scattered dreams, your words can pull them together. Your words can pull the dreams that have just been here, there, and everywhere. Come on, somebody. Amen. Can pull them together. Broken pieces, your life may have been disrupted by broken pieces, by different things that have happened. And they can be brought together by your words. We can declare a thing and it shall come to pass. And then number 4, your words connect directly to your results. If you don't like what you're seeing, then check what you're saying, right? That is something we could all learn. If we don't like what we're seeing, let's see what we're saying. Because most of us have, it's a known fact that I think it's like 80% of our thoughts are negative. And so a lot of times those negative thoughts come right out of our mouth. We have to learn not to complain. And that's a hard one. I mean, I battled that for so long, and still, I struggle with, making a complaint. And I'm not thinking it's a complaint. I might be explaining something. I might be setting the narrative that it is, that's truth. I might say, well, that's true. Well, but if it sounds like a complaint about it, then we need to retract those words. Learn how to use our words, because our words are powerful and they directly influence our results. Okay, so I wanted to share those little points with you on this season. Be very conscious of what you begin to say and declare. And again, I will be teaching on the power of a word. So please check that out in the next week or two. I think it's like 2 weeks before October. And so I'll have those going, and it's going to be a really good teaching. I believe the Lord's going to bless it. All right. So I wanted to share about these lyrics to the song. Of course, you can look them up, but I just found them very profound in what the Lord said. Remember, he told me, let me go back to my notes on this. He told me, this is it. This is a prophetic word for you. This is it. This doesn't mean it's your last chance, but it is a test of the emergency broadcast system. This is what the Lord said. This is just a test. It's not the last opportunity. Okay, when I say this is it, it's not the last opportunity, but it is a test of the emergency broadcast system. And for those of you who aren't old enough to remember what that is, when we were watching TV, we get interrupted with these little color bars or something, in the static, and they said, this is just a test, or this is only a test. It's a test of the emergency broadcast system, because if there was a war, something happened that was devastating that they needed to let everybody know, they would interrupt, and they wanted to test to make sure that would actually happen, that they could interrupt your programming and let you know about an emergency. So, I find that interesting because the Lord brought that back to my remembrance, the emergency broadcast system. And broadcasting, of course, is, sharing. It's talking. It's bringing forth information. So I find that interesting that it has to do with the mouth. So it's emergency broadcast system. God's saying, pay attention. What comes out of your mouth this year matters more than ever. And, that really starts with how you think. It really does. It starts with how you think, because how you think creates emotion, and emotion, we take action after emotion, and that's usually what we say. So I want you to have this declaration. Make this declaration this year. This is it. I will use my mouth to secure my destiny. My words will align with heaven. I declare by faith that what God has spoken, I will see manifest in my life this year in Jesus' name. And put that down in the description so you can copy it if you want to, so that you can begin to declare it. I have like 77 declarations. I don't do them every day because that's a lot. Sometimes I do pieces of them, depending on what I want to focus on. If it's, depending on what's going on in the life at the time, whether it's family situations, whether it's ministry or, government, whatever. And I focus on those things, or personal. But it's so important to have declarations and to make declarations and to really speak out. And it changes your thinking. The more you do it, it will transform your thinking. So 5786 is not just another year. It's a divine setup. This is it. The moment where your words carry weight, power, and connection. Use your mouth to create the future God has promised. And here, listen to these words. I wish I could sing it. I wish I could play it. But Kenny Loggins, this is it. There have been times in my life I've been wondering why. Have you been wondering why? I'm sure there's times in your life like, why, Lord? Why this? Why now? Still, somehow I believed we'd always survive. Now, I'm not so sure. We go through this battle of, already not yet. This isn't, we're already saved, yet not saved. So we have this constant friction and constant tug of war. Sometimes, Paul said, I do the things I don't want to do, and I don't do the things I want to do. And I find within me, a war going on. And so sometimes we have that struggle. You're waiting here, one good reason to try. You're still here. God still has something for you. But what more can I say? What's left to provide? What else can I say? Are you going to wait for a sign, for a miracle? Come on. Sometimes we just want to wait. We want to wait. God, show me. God, show up. You show me a miracle. Give me a sign. Stand up and fight. Make no mistake where you are. Don't mistake in where exactly you are in your walk with Christ, in your life, and in the manifestation of the dreams of your life, or in your destiny or your call. This is it. Your back is to the corner. Boy, if there was not a better time for these words, right? Don't be a fool anymore. This is it. The waiting is over, so don't you run. This is an opportunity to no longer run, to no longer procrastinate. Hello. I was telling somebody the other day, I have a tendency to procrastinate, and I've got to get hold of that. Nowhere to hide. No time for wondering why. You don't have time for that. It's here. The moment is now. About to decide. Let them believe. Leave them behind. You got to let people, whatever they're going to say, whatever they're going to believe, they're going to believe. And you just, let that go and keep it moving. But keep me near in your heart. And I felt like the Lord was saying that to us, keep me near in your heart. Know whatever you do, I'm here by your side. For once in your life, here's your miracle. Stand up and fight. Make no mistake where you are. This is it. You're going no further. Okay, see it. This is it. Until it's over and done, who makes the choice of how it goes? It's not up to me this time. And I felt like the Lord was saying, it's not up to him this time. It's up to you. This is your opportunity. It's not up to him this time. Well, I'm just waiting on God. God's waiting on you. It comes a day in every life. Make no mistake where you are. This is it. You're going no further. And, that has to do with what he was talking about directly in the song to his dad. But until it's over and done, one way or another, No one can tell you what the future holds. Your back is to the corner. You make the choice of how it goes. The waiting is over. No one can tell you what the future holds. You're going to, you know, no one can tell you, but God knows. And God's saying, this is it right here. This is it. This is your opportunity. It may not be the last opportunity, but is a very significant opportunity for you to step up the game. Step up your game. Begin to declare. Take this time to say with your mouth what you want from heaven on this earth, and begin to declare it in the name of Jesus. This is it, and it shall come to pass. Well, I hope that word blessed you today, and blesses you through the year. I encourage you to come back to it, listen to it over and over. I really wish I could have done better with it. I'm always second guessing myself as to how I present, but you know what? I know the word will get through. God will do what he wants to do in your life. You just need to decree it and declare it so. And I just pray you have a blessed year with this word. This is it. This is an opportunity for you to step up. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that, because I am going to be teaching on the mouth. I'm going to be teaching on some things in the mouth. I didn't even know that's what this year meant when God gave it to me. But obviously he wants to deal with some things. And so I'm excited about it. And I will see you next time.